News Talk is online. News Talk Online, a production of paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet, with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on Blip TV and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, if I catch up and update it. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio. We're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. Another reminder, please go to the Pal Talk News Network website, which resides at reportergary.com. reportergary.com for news that you may or may not see, hear, or read in the mainstream media. A lot of it this week coming from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, where Talk Radio News Service correspondents cover the administration, the legislative branch, and the courts, the Supreme Court for us on a daily basis. Our correspondent today, Justin Duckham. And Justin, we were talking just a little earlier about the fact that it was an historic day on Capitol Hill this late morning.
Yes, it was. It was a historic day because for the first time in congressional history, they read the Constitution in its entirety on the House floor.
Did they even talk about Indians and slaves being not full human beings?
They did not. They read an amended version of the Constitution. It was essentially the way that it is now. So they did not touch upon the things like prohibition or parts of the 14th Amendment regarding, or the 13th Amendment regarding the 3/5 clause. So it was sort of a sanitized version of the Constitution. In fact, in the lead up to it, there was a bit of a controversy because some lawmakers wanted them to read the Constitution as it was originally written, arguing essentially that slavery was part of our history and that's something that we need to really kind of confront as Americans. So in the lead up to the reading of the Constitution, there was just a little bit of debate about what Constitution should be read exactly.
Wasn't it the 14th Amendment that eliminated the slavery?
It was. I misquoted myself. I misquoted. I apologize.
No, you didn't. I'm just asking myself. I was questioning my own mind on that one.
The Amendment is birthright citizenship, so yes, that is the one related to slavery. Initially, though, there was in the original Constitution, there was the 3/5 clause, which meant that if you were a black American, you had a 3/5 the right of the white landowning gentry.
Well, aren't some of these same Tea Party-supported Republican members of Congress who pushed for this historic reading for the first time in history of the Constitution of the United States into the congressional record, including reading the 14th Amendment, don't they want to amend the 14th Amendment so that there is no longer birthright for children of illegal aliens who are born here in the United States? How do they justify this dichotomy in their approach?
I wish I could understand Tea Party psychology. It seems that fidelity to the Constitution only fits if it's a situation that they call for. In this situation, the 14th Amendment. But as far as the reasoning behind it goes, a lot of the Tea Party types argue that the 14th Amendment has never actually been about birthright citizenship for all Americans, and that this was just a situation meant for former slaves or for people who were brought to America.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that.
They argue that it has never really been. Pardon me?
It doesn't say that. The 14th Amendment doesn't say this applies only to former slaves. How stupid of them.
It does not, but Republicans interpret the Constitution in pretty strange ways sometimes.
Well, wait a minute. If the Constitution, if the Bill of Rights didn't just protect our freedoms of speech, press, and religion during the time that they were ratified, the Bill of Rights extend from that moment to now. So my right to say that they are idiots extends today, right?
Exactly. But a lot of people of different political stripes interpret the Constitution in strange ways. A lot of liberals like to point out that in the Second Amendment there is no language that actually says, individuals can carry firearms. And, of course, that's been something that's been interpreted in different ways by conservatives. So it's all about how it's interpreted, and the call to remove the 14th Amendment is pretty much coming from people who analyze the Constitution through a more conservative lens, and through that ideology, the 14th Amendment, although it says pretty much straightforward birthright citizenship, they believe that they have found a loophole that would take out the need to grant it to those who've crossed the border illegally.
Hey, listen, Justin.
I don't understand the psychology. That's just how it goes sometimes.
Justin, there's a gentleman who's typing in text in our virtual auditorium. He uses the nickname Robert Goddard, who is says two things. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm a liar. I don't, maybe I'm ignorant, or maybe I'm a liar. I don't think that I can be both, but that's fine. But since you and I agree, I guess by extension, his attack on what we are saying extends to you. So I want to give him the opportunity to go to the head of the queue here while I have you on the line. Robert Goddard, how am I lying, or how am I misinformed? Please enlighten me.
Wow, sometimes shock value does actually work. I should try this more often. Hey, it's very simple. It states that jurisdiction thereof. You saying that it applies to illegal aliens, and that's a lie. It doesn't apply to illegal aliens. There are court cases in historic record that specifically shows that it didn't apply to illegal aliens in the 18.
Then why do they want to amend it? Then why do they want to amend it to ensure that it doesn't apply?
Because you guys are sitting here, and the reason I called you a liar is because you guys are sitting here saying the Republicans are the ones taking it out of context and interpreting the Constitution, in your words, the way that they want, and that's a bunch of garbage. It's the left that's doing that. So what we have to do is we have to make it clear, but it specifically says jurisdiction thereof. If you're an illegal alien, you're not under jurisdiction.
We're not talking about illegal aliens. We're talking about the offspring of illegal aliens, people who have been born in the United States of America.
Yes, but if you have a child and you're born in here, you're not under jurisdiction of the United States. You're under foreign law. And that is, you do not apply. This decision has already been made in the 1870 Supreme Court.
Okay, so Robert Goddard is our constitutional lawyer.
The United States, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. That is birthright citizenship. I apologize.
You don't have to apologize. Robert's got to apologize because we're not the liars here. Okay, real quickly, there's a new chief of staff, and the progressives aren't too happy, and surprisingly, the President of the United States actually made an appointment, breaking news that the Republicans say right on to, especially the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, he chose Bill Daley, heir to the Daley political family of Chicago. This was pretty much interpreted as an olive branch to the business community. He was a pretty big wig in the financial world, and so far he has gotten some pretty warm reviews from those in the financial community, including the president of the Chamber of Commerce, Tom Donilon, who has given him a pretty glowing endorsement. So this is something that a lot of conservatives have been applauding. Of course, a lot of progressives are a little tiffed by this, especially since that this is somebody who is following Rahm Emanuel, who is a boogeyman to progressives. So, while Obama is disappointing one part of his base, he is certainly making some friends.
Listen, he's moving to the middle. We saw Bill Clinton do this. He claims that the president that he most admires and the president that he studies the greatest is Abraham Lincoln. But I got to tell you, now reality sets in for President Obama. I guarantee you the president he studies the most right now from a political standpoint is Bill Clinton.
And this absolutely is falling in line with the sort of more centrist approach that he is taking in the post-shellacking environment that he found himself in. This is, of course, following up the tax cut compromise, which was a pretty major shift in the middle for him as well. And it may just be a signal of what we are going to be seeing in the remaining 2 years of his first term. However, this is a pretty significant move that is coming out of today all in itself. A lot of political insiders believe that he was just going to stick with Peter Rouse, who was a pretty significant liaison to the Senate since he was a former chief of staff for the former Senate Majority Leader. So this is a pretty big announcement all in itself.
Well, look, he doesn't have to appease the far left of his party, because where are they going to go? To Michelle Bachmann? You know, so they're going to have to
That's true.
support him for his reelection bid, no matter how pissed off at him that they may be.
Oh, and of course, there's always concerns that there will be a dark horse Democrat who's going to take on the president. And
There's not going to be a dark horse Democrat taking on the president of the United States. That's ridiculous. That will not happen. Hillary will just have to.
We had Kennedy back challenging for years. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't believe it's going to happen as well, but there's other.
The only one who might try to do that, to pull a coup like that, is Hillary Clinton, and he's already co-opted her by making her his Secretary of State. So she shot herself in the political foot by accepting that appointment. So anyways, I'm going to let you go. I kept you a little bit longer than scheduled. Justin Duckham from the Talk Radio News Service in Washington, D.C. A stellar job today, my friend.
Pleasure. Have a good one.
Have a good one, buddy.